What do you mean, you people?
It's on it too. I picture like the first two Adam Sandler CDs. Where it's like song skit, song skit, song skit.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the upgrades to the studio is because the studio's right underneath all the instruments is running XLRs through the wall because that's a mechanical room behind here. So I can just do it. I don't have to get through the wall. I can just literally drop it through, and I can run all the instruments and mics from up there to be controlled down here. Running MIDI sequencers is me literally moving the keyboards down here. The problem is I just don't have the
Space.
workflow. Like, I'd have to reassign the space pretty ridiculously to turn this into a music studio. Can it be done? Absolutely. But
Will you do it?
eventually, that was actually one of the plans.
James, eventually it could be 3 lifetimes from now. Will you
Maybe.
do it?
It might be.
Will you do it by summer of next year?
I could run the XLRs, but turning this into a music.
So no.
What if we just
Studio
needed to
be
be
tough.
able to record vocals and get it reasoned to make like samples, like make our own beats or whatever?
requires nothing different than we have already.
That's all I need. I don't know how to play a fucking instrument.
You don't have
No,
to.
you don't have to. It's
What-
just you just being able,
It's-
whatever you want.
What I love about working with sequencers is you just like, okay, this is the sound, and then you can kind of just. I always used to just play on the keyboard and be like, that's kind of cool, like 4-beat, like 4-note thing. Like, that sounds cool. And then you just kind of build off of that. That's what most of these guys do. None of them come in with like a classical music degree and be like,
Yeah.
I've written it all on paper before I can play it. Like,
No, for
you
sure.
sit there and you fiddle around, you find something cool and be
Yeah,
like, dude, let's start with that.
It's very rare where you find someone that makes a beat from scratch. That's why everything's sampled off everything else. Everything is that beat with somebody, oh, that'd be cool if I do this and that. So it's just off of this other thing.
It is odd when you're in the car listening to the radio and you hear a song and you're like, wait, this is from a
Yeah, it's a beat under
Yeah.
that beat. You're like, oh, I know this song. This is
There's nothing better than listening to on XM. You hear it a lot, and sometimes you get into the weeds. Like sometimes on public radio, you hear like old jazz standards or old R&B, like obscure shit, and you'd be like, "Fuck out of here! That's where that beat came from." And it was
Dude.
like off of some hip hop, not even like a hit, but just like a song. You'd be like, "Oh, that's that."
It's funny how many like black people talk about how much stuff white people stole from them, but a lot of the music, like the R&B shit, the rap shit, comes from like rock and roll, old bluegrass. I remember a song called Daydreaming that I think it was who sang Lauryn Hill, somebody, but then it's like some old ass like 50s band. I just came across this song and I'm like, this is where this song came from. And it's like an old, like, I don't even know what to classify this band as. It was some white hippie dudes, long hair, instruments, just.
Can we discuss while it was good, the first Fugees album was basically a cover album? Like, they had like 3 original songs on the album.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're finding out. Like, a lot of these songs are like, they're covers of other stuff. And you're like, it's so far removed from the culture and the year that you just don't even know it. So you just come across it. And, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I get it. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of beats.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know what really brought that to my attention was Tribe Called Quest.
Never really got into them. That's what.
Really?
keeps
Oh, I
it in there, right?
recommend Tribe Called Quest, man.
I just came across them today because now I'm getting into more. Because I can't listen to booty fuck kill rap no more, dude. Dude, it do something to me. I feel the energy from it now. Like
Tribe's legit.
I'm just getting into that type of rap. Like I just got the mind for that, and I just came across some Tribe today. But I was listening to Jay Electronica.
Okay.
Yay, Nick. Yay is the fuck you. But dude, I'm telling you, that gospel CD, dude, that shit jamming. That shit so jamming. I was listening to it. I didn't even know that was the gospel the CD.
Well, that's it's funny because like I remember in high school one of my favorite rock songs was the Toadies. The hell's it called?
Possum Kingdom.
Possum Kingdom.
Yeah.
It, like had a real cool song. It was like in a cool like 4/4/6/8 rotating time signature. Everything about it was cool, and then you find out it was like super god rock. But I was like, yeah, it's just good fucking songs. Like I didn't really think about it. It was years later.
Wasn't Creed like a Christian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Creed is definitely.
I love I love Creed, man.
Okay, your mic's getting turned
I
on.
don't
Why
know.
do y'all? No. Why is it? Why do y'all not like Creed? Because I've seen white people
I don't-
not like Creed. Why? I don't understand. I'm from a different culture. Explain to me.
I like okay as a guy who likes shit rock.
Wait, no. See, you just shitted on him.
No, I
How you call it shit rock? He like, I like shit rock.
No, it's a genre of rock.
Oh,
yeah.
like rock has so many subgenres that you don't
I'm finding
understand.
It out. No,
Yeah.
I'm finding it out though.
but like I'm talking like radio rock type of shit. I didn't mind Creed. I didn't. Their Arms Wide Open song was a little too much for me. They played
like
it all.
that.
Well, they played it all the
6
fucking
feet?
time. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so you have to understand Arms Wide
Yeah.
Open. Like when we all heard it the first time, we were like, yeah, it's a solid
It's not
song.
gonna
And then
be-
it was literally, you heard it 8 times an hour on every radio because this is long before streaming.
Yeah.
But there's
So-
a couple. There was a great Creed song. It goes up there for me. I wish I could remember the name.
If it's that great, you'd remember it.
No, it wasn't. I can remember the beat and the music, but it was a solid. Like it reminded me of Deftones a little. Like it was great. But
Let me go on, Bill. To get it.
When Creed came out and was everywhere, I was already listening to like real metal,
So what?
and I was like,
But
this is some.
Wait, is Creed metal? Or is it rock? Or is that rock?
It's some kind of
It's rock.
pansy rock. And the pansy rock is pretty far from the spectrum to what I was listening to.
Yeah.
yeah, metal is like I feel like with a lot of the black
Dude.
people I've ever worked with, they're like, you want to keep black people away from you? Play fucking death metal. And I was like, really?
This is-
What?
So I did a show. I didn't know what scream metal was. I thought scream metal was heavy metal because I just didn't know. I just thought it was just okay. You just call it something different, but it's ultimately heavy metal. I've heard heavy metal that I can vibe with. I'll do it. So I was doing comedy there, right? I get there. It's motherfuckers dressed as demons. It's motherfuckers with spikes. It's just I'm like, what the fuck, right? And they just literally they would scream, and the people would literally be like on the speakers like this, just. And I'm just like, this fuck crazy. But I heard the rhythmic undertone to what they was doing, and I'm like, this is just meth. This is musical meth.
I'm going to pause you there because you didn't get to finish your point before we all jumped over.
Oh,
you
my
there.
bad.
I was already listening to something so much heavier that I didn't even bother with shit on the radio.
And to your point, you're 100% right. There is actually a lot of correlation with using like scream rock, black metal, a lot of the death
That
metal.
Norwegian black metal,
Right.
dude. So much crazy history with that shit.
Yes, there is.
Because you know what I found out? All of these people that was there, because what I'm learning about is frequency is very particular to a lot of things. And it's just it's a frequency. It's just a different frequency for different people.
So-
but I met these people, and they were the complete opposite. They were teachers. They were librarians. They were these motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, researchers. And they're just, you talk to them like, oh, yes, my name is. And I'm like, what the fuck? But you're dressed like a goddamn demon.
To your vibration point, is a lot of people look at that type of metal because of whatever it is, helps a certain kind of brain function in meditation. It is a kind of induced meditation. You talk about it being meth. That's not entirely wrong. It changes the chemical nature just listening to it and experiencing it, especially when you see that shit live and it fucking like flows through it, like changes your muscles when you hear shit like
You
that.
got to see Guar live sometime.
Yes.
I would go with you to see Guar.
Didn't Odorous
Can
die?
you? Oh, I forgot he did. Are they still doing anything? Like they didn't replace him?
Guar is literally the most bonkers thing.
I got introduced to him in high school. Like, I was the backup goalie for this dude, and we used to all sing together. And he played fucking Guar all the time.
So Guar just as a CD, but as a visual spectacle, one of the craziest things you'll ever experience.
Oh, yeah, I do like that stuff. I've been trying to get to one of those type of, like, musical things to where it's, like, also,
Like it's an event too.
yeah, they had one at, like, the
Watch
planetarium.
this shit. This is Guar.
And this is about what their live shows were like timidly. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a toned down live show.
yeah, there are other ones they'd have like fucking alien babies being born on
Yeah,
stage.
man.
like-
People getting like crucified and shit, like all sorts of crazy.
I saw
shit.
Gore once when I was in my late teens, and it literally was the most bizarre stage show I've ever seen in my life.
Well, you know what I'm learning to do is to. This is what I've learned. When you set your mind up to where you just don't like something, what you're doing is you're literally setting up a defense in your body to physically react negatively to something. So if you go into something with no predetermined ideas of it and just literally open up your mind to it, it's a feeling you just get. And you may not like that feeling, and you're like, okay, I don't like this. But if you go in with this built up immunity to what you're already going in, like people's like, I don't like country music. So every country music song you hear, you're not gonna like. But if you open up to it and you're like, well, I'm gonna listen to music, I'm gonna listen to beat, then you can kind of grasp. Because it's not about. It's like, I don't know what people don't like. It's like I listen to like what are you saying in the song, and like I always like country beats. I like country beats. I like them.
Oh, my problem with country music is that basically it's just really slow punk music.
Yeah, but I
And
think
for my preference, I'd rather just
But I
listen
don't-
to punk music.
I don't
That's a
understand-
very interesting statement.
But I don't
I've never
understand-
heard that said before.
Think about it. It's
Huh,
all
no,
about
like-
being heartbroken.
Dude.
It's all about being poor.
That's
It's
R&B.
all a simple 3/3
That's-
beat.
That's
Yeah,
R&B.
man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand if black people actually wasn't so silly and they just open themselves to country. I'm like, nigga, that's R&B.
Didn't what's his face do that? Fucking
Yes.
with Billy Ray Cyrus. The fuck was his name? Little fucking Nas X or something.
Lil
No,
Nas X,
yeah, but that was hip hop and
Country
shit.
Road.
But literally, like all country music is R&B with some banjos. God damn it, that's all it is. They talking about the same thing. Talk about my woman left. I'm broke. I'm poor.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. It's like I want you to come back. I love you to the stars. And I love my dog. I love you. You love everything. You hate everything.
I think that because I'm not a huge country fan, and there's a lot of old country that I really like Dolly Parton is, and earlier I can get down with most of it.
Yeah.
You know, like the Merle Haggards. Love Johnny Cash. Like honestly, like even his heavy country stuff I can get down. But there's a point where it got like from like 1982 until now, where literally country music is all the musical elements that you're talking about, with just whoever has the best voice with a twang. And it has
Yeah.
to have
Yeah,
a
it's-
twang.
but that's
and
what
that
happens.
bugs the shit out of me. Is just like,
It
in
be-
order to be the rest of, if you took the voice out of it and just played the music, be like, that's a cool song.
This
But
is
then
what happens, though.
I got, yeah.
What happens is you have these people. They're the originators of whatever they are. But then what happens is somebody goes above the pack. So then that's the person to be. So that's who everybody's looking for. That's who producers are looking for. That's who people that make people, oh, this person was famous, so we're going to make that person. They keep trying to make that person. And then if you're a person that's unique, you have to be self-made. And then they buy who you are, and then they market who you are. And then they try to make another one of you. And if they can't make another, if you don't buy into the contract, they'll smother you and then make a you without you being you.
In country,
In every genre
Yeah.
of music, that's just the business.
Country is a very interesting because it's like almost old Motown, where it's
It
like
used
you're
to be
either
that. Motown used to be Motown,
but
it's-
country is literally that. Like
Dude,
if you want to be
could-
called country, you have to.
I'm
be
telling
with
you,
one of
dude,
these
because now
three labels.
country is mixed with hip hop now. Country and pop is
They're
you
the
can't
same thing.
You can't even tell the difference now. Because now it's a popularity contest. It's not about this.
Well,
You let me not say that.
wrong.
Let me not say that. It's the people that reach those mega heights. You always have that good music on a low level. You got to go find it. That's the thing about people. People want all the good music presented to them. You're getting the popular music presented to you. You have to go find that good music. There's a lot of good music out here. That's what I'm learning. And that's why I just kind of go and I just find people that's talking about things I want to talk about, and then I let the algorithm connect me to other people. And then I'm like, okay.
You know who's good? If you want to go down that hole, Michael's really good. Like she's found a couple. I'll be a country artist recently where I'm just like, all right, yeah, that's
old
that's
school-
a fucking banger right
Old school
there.
country is great, like Waylon Jennings and all that shit.
But this is like new
Yeah.
shit. I wish I could remember the
I
guy's
like
name.
a lot
Shaky
of this
Graves. Look up Shaky Graves.
I like a lot of new shit.
He's like heavy blues influenced.
well, I'm down for that. I like that. Kind
This
of
is the thing, though. New music is made for you to like. unique people make music that they like, and then they attract who likes what they like, and that's how you make a unique person. But when you see popular music, it's made for you to like it.
Why aren't you helping me, computer?
Oh, I thought you were asking me. I was like, I'm sorry, James. What can I do better?
I tell people, you don't like country. If you're a music fan, you like all music. You just come across some shit you don't like. But like I said, if you go into it with a predisposed idea that I don't like this whole genre of music, then of course you're not going to like it because you don't want to like it.
I just picked a random Shaky Graves song.
Oh, word. I don't know any of them by name. I just recently got exposed
But that
to
right there, that give me a beat I can pop to right there.
This is a one-man band. It's legit.
Oh, I got a buddy that does this, man, and looping, that shit dope.
No, he's one-man
No,
band.
he's
He's
literally-
not looping. He's
playing
playing the
the-
drum and he's playing the guitar.
Yeah, there's no tech here.
Oh, okay.
And I agree. I've seen those people that like
loop-
put together a beat in real time, and I dig the shit out of
Isn't
that.
I seen a dude that did it with all African horns. It was fucking amazing.
Isn't
man.
that what fucking Trent Reznor basically did?
I don't know. I
Because
honestly
I think
don't
the
know.
first Nine Inch Nails album was like he made it like all, he did play the drums, he played the fucking
Yeah, oh
bass.
yeah. Most Nine
Yeah.
Inch Nails, he does it all, but when he goes live,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has people.
Yeah. It's got a bit of like a Kings of Leon
I
sound.
like the dissonance in his guitar, the fact that he's playing with sevenths. I kind of dig that shit because it creates a.
I'd
fun
also
little-
like to point out how good your coordination and mental concentration have to be to do all of that with that many body parts simultaneously
and sing.
and sing
Yeah.
to actually make a coherent song.
Fucking impressive, right?
It's very
Have
impressive.
you seen those guys that play like guitar and percussion, like on the same instrument? Like,
I don't even know what you're talking about. Nope.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Oh, like the acoustic guy? Where like he slaps
I can't
body and
remember his
shit?
name.
Oh,
There's a guy he'll have a acoustic guitar, and he'll play the guitar, but he'll slap the guitar body for that sound. But he keeps on going. I've seen this before. My brother was like big into the dude. I can't remember the guy's name now.
I don't know if I want to talk about this now or wait till we get on camera.
We're on camera.
We are?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, this
Hold
gonna-
on.
This
But
is
I
gonna take a whole
wanna-
different turn. I'll wait. This
Yeah,
gonna take
like
us a
this
whole
is
different-
a good example because it's
Yeah.
so. Let me.
Oh yeah,
Fast
make one
forward.
big like shit. What is that? Is that something different down at the bottom?
You got it.
Oh, look at him. He took when we used to be in school, used to be in the cafeteria. We used to do that on the table.
Yes, but
man.
he's also playing the
I
song
know
with
that.
his other hand.
I know, but you used to have a nickel in your hand.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
you like, and you had the other hand. That's the same
Yeah.
thing. He just did it on the guitar. Look at that shit. But that's very brain intensive. That's very mentally intensive. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is an extraordinary human being, but no one's gonna look at him like that. But I mean, to be able to do that, if you tried to do that, you look retarded. You look absolutely retarded, even trying to attempt to do it. Whatever your non-dominant hand you try to do that with, you'd be so silly.
That's hard, man. That's just oof.
Yeah. That's all mental power right there, man.
Also a lot of practice. That's a lot of practice.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anybody can do that, but a lot of people can do that with practice. And you got to develop your physical body. You got to be able. Your neurons got to run from your brain all the way down to your fingertips to be able to control that like that on both hands from both sides of your brain.
yeah, muscle memory, all that shit. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's just a person that had no fucking friends.
Yeah, well,
They just practice. No, people like that, dude. Those are those people. That's why these weirdos become actors, become musicians, because they don't have any friends. So they can just, if they actually have the mind to focus on their passion, they'll be, you know what I'm saying, masters of whatever they focus their energy into. Some people just focus their energy into fucking self-loathing, and that's what the fuck they become masters at, shitting on themselves.
Should we put the Broncos game in the lower corner?
fuck no. I'm just making sure my shit's off. I thought. It was
I think more people should focus on karate.
Oh yeah, karate,
Yeah, why
tai
not?
chi, all that. I want to get into a martial arts here soon.
You thinking like what's that shit that fucking Rogan does?
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
But that's a combat one as opposed to like some of the other are more to bring your mind and body together. I thought jiu-jitsu.
I think all of them are because I do my meditation when I'm at the gym.
like
so-
Muay Thai is, I think he does some Muay Thai
Right.
because I think that's a little more like body and spirit combined with.
I
definitely like to learn a combative one, and then I do tai chi now. So
I mean, martial arts when I was growing up, I got
it's
turned off.
amazing how hard that shit was to start.
Yeah. But martial arts when I was a kid, man, I got turned off to it because like every asshole that like wanted to like be tough took karate and then would brag about how they did karate and would pick fights with people and shit. And like I didn't want to get into that crowd. So
Cobra Kai never
yeah, I was
dies.
gonna say that.
That was back in those
That's
Karate
so,
Kid
like,
days.
even
Yeah.
when I grew up, it's like you had a lot of people, and then there was one kid in school
yeah.
that actually was like a legit into karate, but he was like the most peaceful one. Like he never got hot at anything.
I had a friend of mine in high school, a real good friend of mine, James Gambino. He was a black belt, like a 5th degree black belt, nicest dude in the fucking planet. What I'm talking about, like, is in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, is like the one dickhead kid named Chad, who took like 3 fucking lessons at a fucking karate studio in the fucking mall.
Tiger
And now all of a
Kim.
sudden he's coming up and he's like karate chopping motherfuckers from the back because he thinks he's tough now. You know, that's when I was.
So
like,
you were turned off to an entire sport because of a bully.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw it because I just was like, if this is what comes out of this, I don't want to be a part of it.
Fair.
I mean, I turned the corner on it after meeting my buddy James, and then now, meeting a lot of people. Like, it's like UFC fighters. You think they'd be, I mean, some of them can be assholes, but for the most part, if you ever meet one, they seem like the nicest fucking dudes on the planet Earth. Like,
Everybody's nice until they're not.
yeah, but like, they're not picking fights with people. Like, they're just being themselves and not like fucking around.
Because in a situation like that, they don't ever feel threatened by normal people.
yeah,
There's
Like
a-
if you legitimately know how to fight,
yeah.
not just defend yourself, but like legitimately fight and
yeah,
fuck
you
someone
don't-
up, you're relaxed 99% of the time because no one poses a threat to you.
Yeah.
exactly.
I've lived a lot of my life in a similar shadow just based purely on my size.
That's fair.
Yeah, I get that too. It's just like I'm an imposing, like I'm taller, look bigger than people, even though I'm not. But a lot of people just are like, easy there, buddy. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But would anybody try to pick fight like back when you were a kid or teenager and stuff? Would people try picking fights with you to prove how tough they were? Because I fought the big guy.
Oh, well into my early 30s.
Okay,
That's part of the reason I quit going to bars.
that's fair. That's yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
That's
that.
like take out the big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying.
And I'm not
yeah.
I'm not there doing any I'm just like hanging out with my buddies, stoned as shit, trying to eat my nachos when my green chili's still hot. And some fuckwad's like, "Hey man, did you say something to my girlfriend?" I'm like, "No." But obviously in half an hour this is going to be a thing. And then I learned like in my mid 20s that I can take I've never been knocked out by a person. This is not an open challenge. But I learned that I can take that first hit for you to get close enough for me to grab you by the back of the neck and then hit you in the face with my elbow. Just the flat surface of my elbow, and that's basically the one hitter quitter every time.
Yeah, pretty much. If you don't
Yeah.
give their head room to recoil from it, yeah.
That's an anime move when you just grab. Hey, just hold it there. You just let them go. And you just drop. Game over, motherfucker. That's what you get. Yeah, if you can, that's the thing. That's what people understand. If you can take a hit, take the hit, because the person got to get into you.
Yeah.
And because if you got a retaliation point for that hit, oh, it's over with. Game over.
Yeah, like because I learned at an early age that I'm perfectly capable of recovering from getting punched in the face.
Yeah, it's so. I always think of that Mike Tyson line. It's like everybody's got a plan until you get punched in
You
the
get punched
face.
in the face,
It's the people that get punched in the face and just be like, "Yeah, no, I still got a plan."
Yeah,
and
man.
then are like, "Oh,
People
what?"
don't. First, and another thing, people don't understand how debilitating fear is.
Yeah.
It zaps your strength, dude. I remember I fought a motherfucker with that motherfucker had me shook, dude. I tried to act tough, nigga. It wasn't in me. It left me. I was like, I was like, nah, it wasn't in me.
You put up the fist like,
Dude, I couldn't
Queensbury
even.
rules.
I couldn't even do. I'm telling you, that's why I know how dangerous fear is. Cause I'm not a scary motherfucker. This motherfucker shook me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I couldn't couldn't even be myself. I'm just like, I could even fake. I was like, nah, fuck this shit, man. So that's why I'm.
Yeah, man, it's like your body sending out the ultimate warning signal, like, this isn't going to go well, man.
And, dude,
I don't know what you're doing, but we're bracing for impact.
this is the thing, and that's a predator because you're giving off an energy. Like, I know when the motherfucker is afraid of me. So if I pounce on that fear, I'm a predator. But if I back off, then I'm like, okay, you scared. I'm gonna leave you the fuck alone.
Okay, so let's examine the idea. Like the person that had you shook. When I've had that same thing, I can, in retrospect, I can look at that and be like, that is my adrenaline kicking, and that lizard brain idea that we talked about in the
I'm
first
trying
hour,
to go against what my
and it's given me that fight or flight, and it's saying right now, like, and so. Do you think, and so if I just purely acted on those, it would be irrational. There wouldn't be thought. It would just be attack at all costs, die if you die, live if you live kind of mentality. Do we then look at people that are in MMA and boxing and other combat sports as having such control over that adrenaline? Because adrenaline, you got to feel like adrenaline drives them to some degree, but is it control of adrenaline, or is it that their adrenaline doesn't fire the ways that ours would?
What you're trying to, it's energy.
Yeah.
And yes, it's control. That's what I tell people. I'm a lunatic, man. I know how to disperse my energy in situations that allows me to disperse my energy. So in situations that it don't require me to do that, I don't get in trouble in those situations. That's what people like that do. But you can control, like I say, you can control that flow of energy any which way. You have complete control over every faculty in your body. That's why I tell people. That's why I say self-discipline is important. Having discipline over what you eat, what you drink, all those things, it gives you discipline over your body too, the functions of your body. That's why it's important.
I think it'd be very interesting to control adrenaline that way. Because, like, for me, like, I'll honestly say to a lot of people, it's like, I'm a 0 to 100 real fucking quick. When
Because you're moving
adrenaline
off
goes,
instinct. You're moving off lizard brain. That's the animalistic aspect of it.
and I have minimal. Sometimes I can actually play with it, but I'd say 95% of that is I hit that and I become shaky. I shake.
Try. When it's rousing up, use your contemplative mind to control it and bring it under your heel. That's the devil. Do you know what devil means? Do you know what devil means? Do you know what devil means?
I'm sure I'm about to be educated because I don't have a meaning behind that other than that's what we call Lucifer or whatever.
But do you know what it is? It's the thing that makes you do the thing that you know you shouldn't do. You know you shouldn't let your anger be roused by certain things, but you do it. That's the devil. It's that thing that makes you do.
Let it.
You let it happen. Exactly. That's the devil doesn't do anything. The devil lets you do what you want to do instead of what you know you should do. That's all the devil is. The devil's there. He's like, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Fine. The devil made me do it. No, the devil let you do it.
No,
you did it.
You let the devil.
You let the devil let you do it. Have you ever seen Lucifer? The show?
Yes.
That's the whole thing. Lucifer's like, I don't do anything. He's just like, I'm just the person that you call on when you want to do something yourself, but you don't want to be responsible for what you do. That's all it is.
And yeah, even in the mythology of Catholicism, or even in some respects, I guess, no, it is Catholicism. Like the fact that Lucifer ended up as the leader of hell, he and his brother got into some shit, and his brother's like, fine, you're in charge of this, you're in charge of that. It was literally a guy dividing up the company. It's like, yeah, you're just in charge of this area.
Hey, James, you ever wonder, we talked about the lizard brain, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the most famous lizard you can think of when I say lizard?
Komodo dragon.
This is why I hate you. It would be a snake. It wouldn't be a lizard.
No.
A snake? Well, okay, let's say the most
That's
universally.
a reptile, but a snake isn't a lizard.
Well, a
lizard
reptile.
has 4 legs.
A lizard. It's okay. Well, reptilian brain, whatever.
Then I would probably go with snake.
Snake, okay.
I'll give you snake.
In the Garden of Eden,
Okay,
the
I
snake.
see where you're going.
You see where I'm going? The snake made Eve eat the apple, right? So that was ultimately that part of her brain overriding.
So by inference, you're saying that when the Bible was written by committee is sometime in 400 AD, this was they actually respected the fact that there was like a lizard brain.
Yes, it's all in the symbolism. You have to stop taking the Bible as his word and look at it symbolically.
I never have. I
That
always
was
thought
a-
it was like a book of stories you learn something
Yeah,
from.
it's, people take it literally, and that's what they. That's yeah.
And it fucks them up, and it's all symbolic of the things. And whenever you see the snake was once the thing to it represented life, it represented everything that humans that was good about humans, and then something happened to where the snake did something, and then we made it the most vile, evil thing in human history. So ultimately, there was this conflict between the snake, because once the snake was like, that's why you see the snake on the staff of the metal, because that was all about how it flowed. Its life is constantly moving. Life is movement.
The Hippocratic staff.
Thou shalt not pass.
Yeah.
No one dies
I
here.
mean, it's an interesting idea because you have to assume, because none of us were there, we can't really understand how you come to the idea of the snake as the symbolism in that. But it has to be from a human that said, the snake made me do it. And it could be them.
devil made me do it.
Well, it could be identified as, I know how a snake acts. And therefore, I acted like a snake. Go ahead, Bear.
It is a symbol that predates modern Christianity.
Yeah. Before Christianity is the one that ultimately vilified the snake, but prior to that, in all tribalistic cultures, the snake was held as like in
deity.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I say, it was, and then it's something because
But if you're building a religion to take over the world, you want everyone else's deity to look like a
You
bad
want
guy.
everyone in Ireland to beat snakes with a stick and have a mythical guy that whistled them all away.
Yeah, and his name was Jameson.
yeah, but it's like you really you have to know how to look at some things, man, to really get an understanding of why humans. That's why I stopped. That's what made me stop getting mad at white people, dude. Because I realized like that is such a small nugget in the grand scheme of things. Like racism, dude, everybody goes through slavery. Everybody goes through physical slavery. The bondage that we're in is psychological. It's psychological and spiritual.
Slavery is still happening right now.
Slavery is happening right now. Slavery is technological now. It's not even physical slavery
Dude,
anymore.
Libya.
Yeah.
They're doing it in Libya right now.
They have slave trades in Libya, but like I say, the slavery we're dealing with is psychological.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Psychological. It's you have to think like this. If you think like this, and it's getting more. It's going to get more and more and more tyrannical as more people get more and more self-conscious in what to believe. They're going to want the biggest. They're going to want the person that the most people believe, tell them what to believe because they're so insecure in what to believe that they're going to believe whatever the top authority tells them. And that's when shit gets really dangerous. And people that think differently will be villainized. Those are the people that always get hung.
Yeah.
Those are the people that always get burned at the cross.
It's like Mao when he had the struggle sessions.
Explain.
The struggle sessions was basically what a lot of people do now on like social media, where if you went against Mao, they would put a dunce cap on your head right in the middle of town. The whole town would
And just
come
let everybody go at you.
and just let everyone go at you. They would humiliate you. They'd take away your job. Like they were making an example out of you. Like don't think like this fucking dude, because if you do, we're gonna give you the treatment.
Yeah.
And that's what they call the struggle session.
We've always done that. We've always killed people in the town square. Now we just do it socially. The Twitter is the town square.
Yeah.
Facebook is the town square.
Yeah.
And we just let motherfuckers go to town on your ass.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like and you think because it's like now you dictate to the Bible as Jesus didn't die for your sins. He died because of your sins. He died because you were so corrupt you killed a good man to stay living your treacherous ways. So he died because of your sins, not for your sins.
And that's what they
Yeah.
put the guilt on you, as in like don't do this because then
Well, that's just how they flipped it.
Because
It was, he died literally not for our sins, but he was a martyr in the fact that you all let him die for the shit that you all were doing.
exactly.
yeah.
And now we'd be like, no, he died to save us all. It's like, yeah, no,
he died because he was preaching against taxes, and the Romans don't want to hear that shit.
And ultimately because of the greed of the people.
Yeah.
Exactly. The people outweigh the politicians. Whenever the people decide they want to do the right thing, they will always outweigh the politicians. But the people never do. The people always get into themselves. They become selfish. And they will always worry about themselves and about their safety. And when you're afraid to die, all I got to do is threaten your life, and I can make you do anything I want you to do. That's why I say you got to get that fear of death out your motherfucking heart. Because when worst comes to worst, if y'all really talking about this revolution shit, the motherfucker gonna kill you, and you afraid to die, what I got to kill you for? You afraid to die. I just make you do what the fuck I want you to do while you living. And just threaten your life every time you want to jump out of line.
What if, though? Like, I get what you're saying. You're not wrong. But what if they go after your children?
That's part of the gamble. It is what it is.
But, like, if they're like...
Yeah,
hey,
if I find myself... Because I'm the only one with children.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll address this. If I find myself in a situation where it's me versus my children...
Yeah.
Something has gone so horribly wrong that I will die for what I believe in that spot.
Yeah, it's what your beliefs are in that spot. And that's why I tell people, I don't like motherfuckers that's everybody's fucking friend. You cannot be a friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. You cannot be everybody's fucking friend.
Because it means you don't stand for anything.
You stand for nothing. You stand for absolutely nothing. Yeah. I may be an asshole to you, but I am who I am. You can rely on me to do the things I do, and you don't have to worry about me doing the things I don't do.
Yeah.
That's it. But some people don't understand that. Some people think that they have to be okay with everything and do everything a motherfucker's doing. That's how you get yourself in trouble. You ain't got no principles you stand on to keep you out of trouble. That's what principles do. Keep you out of everybody else's trouble.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong about that.
And nobody even teaches kids this shit, man. Nobody fucking teach kids any type of principles. Like, don't do this. Every kid, they always want to make a reason why a kid can do some shit that they know they shouldn't be fucking doing. No, you can't fucking do it.
Well,
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is parents don't know. Parents are like, they don't have any contention for any whys. Why can't I do this? You have to tell them. Why can't I do this? Because this will lead you down a path you don't want to be on. This will lead you to ruin. Like, I can't stop you from doing this, but I'm going to show you what this has done to other people. Now, if you choose to do that, understand this is what you're choosing to potentially get into. So if you want to make that choice, then I fucked up somewhere. Because I wouldn't want you to make that choice. I would want you to make the choice that's going to benefit you more, or potentially benefit you a lot more than that choice. Because we see what that does. We see what this does. So choose this. It's a better option. Now a child can say, okay, I get that. Instead of, because I said so.
And that's the thing, man. I have always explained anything I could to my kids. Like, from the minute they could talk, as soon as they could figure out that they could ask questions. Like, if I didn't know an answer, my go-to is let's Google it right now. I've never told my kids because I said so. I'm like, oh, this is why. Because then they're not just like, it's never an issue of resentment. Like, there's a reason behind it.
I'm trying to think.
And a lot of people don't fucking raise their kids because they weren't really raised well and they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how I was raised.
See, and I don't think I didn't have a lot of because I said so, except for when it came from like things that I would say disciplinary. Like, don't fucking light that on fire. Why? Because I said so. Because holy shit, you might burn down the house. I think in my time, you have that's a great point to say. It's just like, well, let's find out. Let's talk about it. Because one of my things was when I didn't understand something, my dad didn't understand because like my dad was a little more of the teacher in this. We always had an encyclopedia. Be like, well, let's find out what that is. You know, there wasn't internet at that point.
And plus,
Sure.
You know, and so that is an advantage. But you made me think about the idea is like, yeah, I was probably told don't do this because I said so. But there were a lot of times where it was just like, let's find out why.
But what people don't realize what you're doing with the child at that point is you're creating reason within their mind. You're giving them other options than just that one thing, and after that they're lost. You're creating that ability to just this.
I think even better, you're training your kids to say why. And be like,
and to some extent, I feel really bad. Like I owe my eldest an apology because I taught her in a way to think that it ostracizes her from other kids to an extent. And that was never my intention. Because my daughter, like, she's not one to fall for peer pressure. She's not one to go for dumb shit. If something is wrong, she will express that it is wrong, and
But
she'll
you
want to
kinda
know if
wanna-
it can be
You
fixed.
kind of want to let them do some dumb shit, though.
Well, no, and I get it, and she will. Like, my cousin is the one that's going to get her into dumb shit. Or my nephew, I mean.
But the thing
Like
about
her
it, like,
cousin.
she'll have a mind to get herself out of the dumb shit.
Yeah.
because she's raised
Like
that.
I have no fear of how my daughter's going to react to things in the world because she thinks beyond just this surface gut reaction.
Exactly.
Like, this is the dopamine hit. I'm just going to go do this because it's fun.
I tell you got to set up a mental coordinator in your mind, and that's the person that processes everything that comes out and everything that goes back out. You can't just instinctually react to things because, like I say, we were animals a long time before we were ever contemplative beings, and so your reactions are animalistic. So you may do something that's not in accordance with society that may get you in trouble. So you have to be able to process what's going on without these just immediate reactions.
Right. I mean, so to Bear's point, I just think that it's like you're teaching your kid to not think that there's just a gut reaction of like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'll explain sometime later. Find out why. If you question like, should I do this? Find out whether you should or shouldn't.
No, I was not raised that way. The way I was raised was I told you so, or not. I told you so because I said so. That's how I was raised. So then when I get thrown into the real fucking world, I didn't know what the fuck to do. I just kind of was just going with the flow.
Oh, like
Yeah.
like my mom, God bless her, she
Yeah.
worked 2 jobs almost the whole time I was a teenager.
Well, yeah.
So I was just left to figure out the world with my own devices.
The thing
that's
is,
how it was.
I had a mom and dad, and my dad did not do me any favors. That's the thing. I mean, my dad was there. He paid bills, but he wasn't there. Like he spent more time going to the bars. He spent more time like worrying about kids like that weren't his, like like my cousins and stuff. Like we turned out okay as a group.
See, that's
But
that the majority of the world, it's okay. And they
Yes.
had parents that they were there, they did what they were supposed to do, but they were so in their own worlds that
Yeah.
you were just kind of there, and whatever your environment dictated, you became.
But the thing is, I made a lot. But for my younger 3 siblings, I and my other brother Ben to a lesser extent because he kind of just didn't give a shit. I mean, he gave a shit, but like as much as a 16-year-old kid could give a shit. I sacrificed like my entire teenage years to make sure that they were going to be all right.
Yeah.
When that should have been their job, not mine. I'm not saying I regret it because they turned out great and I'm proud of them.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, like I didn't get I felt like I got robbed of a childhood because they were lazy. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that's just,
But I don't know though, man, because I look at that. I understand what you're saying, but that goes in that line with we should let kids be kids, but then we want kids to be kids, but then we want them to be adults. We want them to be instant adults.
But like but also at the same time, like you're making them grow up too fast.
What is that? What does that mean?
But giving them responsibilities when they shouldn't be having that at that age.
When should you never have responsibility?
Not no responsibilities, but certain responsibilities.
Well, what is the distinction?
Exactly.
The distinction is like you're 15 years old and you're fretting about a bill that my parents can't pay. Or you're like, oh, I got to be home because I got to watch kids. Or, oh, I have to, like for a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, it's one thing to do that sometimes, but when it's like their life, that's not good.
May I ask what you basing this off of? Like, what are you basing off how a child should grow up in what conditions off of? Like, what is your...
I mean, from like, they should be able to like have fun, do sports or whatever the fuck they want to do. Like,
I thought you did sports.
Barely. I mean, barely. Like I only play baseball because like my brother played baseball, and then
So you didn't want to play baseball?
No, I did.
Okay.
I love baseball, but like I'll give you for like a perfect example. Like I played lacrosse, and for a year I was a goalie, and I broke my stick, which happens. It's like breaking a baseball bat. It happens. It's part of the game. I had to quit because they wouldn't buy me a stick.
Did they not? Was they able to buy you a stick? Or they just not buy you a stick?
They were able to get me a stick, but they would like, oh, I can't buy you a stick. Meanwhile, like there's like 230 racks in the fucking kitchen. You know what I mean? Like,
So their priorities weren't in the place.
But I paid for that though. You know what I mean? Like,
in what way?
not being able to play a sport that I liked because they couldn't keep their shit together.
Right. Their correlation is that their priorities were different than raising children.
Yeah. I get that. I get that.
Their substance abuse
but also you can't. But I think you're looking at.
And then whenever I ask questions about it, I get the shit beat out of me.
Well, yeah, that's just how you can't. You got them parents from that. That's just how they dealt with things they couldn't understand or comprehend. They didn't have an answer for it, so it made them frustrated. So they beat you because they're ignorant. But the whole responsibility aspect, man. I think that benefits you in the long run. Because my whole thing is like this. I don't believe this idea of treating a child like a child. I believe in you raise a child to be successful in society. And I think you do a child a disservice when you treat it like a fucking baby, but for the first 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or you treat it like in this arbitrary idea of what you think a child is just playful, don't have responsibilities, don't do this, don't do that. No. Because the world don't give a fuck about you being a child.
Yeah.
You better learn how to enjoy this shit as you go through it. You know what I'm saying? You can do music, you can do sports, because I think those things are important to develop as a person. But like this idea of just arbitrary fun, of just not doing anything that matters, I don't believe in that.
No, my whole point is that they didn't show a lot of like faith or interest in my interests.
Have you talked to your parents?
I mean, my dad's dead, so I mean, I tried to.
Have you talked to your mom?
Oh yeah, I talk to her all the time.
Have you talked to her about these things?
I try to, but she doesn't want to talk
So
about it.
you're just basing these off assumptions from your perspective as a child.
I mean, I'll bring it up and she'll be like, "No," but
So
I'll-
you, but you never have talked to her though.
I've talked to. I have tried to. She doesn't want to have the conversation. That's on her. She doesn't want to have
But you
it.
haven't talked to her, so
I'm
these
trying
assumptions.
to. That's the thing.
But I'm not saying I'm not asking you
the
attempt
assumptions
to. I'm
aren't just
saying,
from me. They're
see.
coming from all my other siblings. They saw it too. My sister saw it. My brother saw it. All my
But
brothers.
you're all taking it from the same perspective as a child. You're not getting it from the source. You have to have that adult conversation with your mother. If you have a problem with your mother or your parents, you have to have that adult conversation from an adult perspective. Like, Mom, this is the way I perceive. This is the way. What was going on with you at this time?
As somebody that has lived with Hamill for 4, coming up maybe 5 years,
yeah.
I'm going to say that by a wide margin, far more connected with his family at large than I am. And I've heard him have touchy situations where he gets hot on the phone.
Yeah.
With his mother, with his father while he was alive.
Yeah.
He is somebody that is not afraid to engage this. He just, if mom throws down like, nope, my mom's the same way. When I'm like, yeah, you did this, she'll be like, no, I didn't. It's like, where do I go with that? Do I just create an animosity that like, okay, I'll try again another day.
Yeah.
And that's all. And I
And you
would
also
say
got
that with
you
him,
also
that
got to
I've
understand
seen
that
with him.
But you also got to understand the perspective you have to come from to get the information you want. It's how you're approaching the situation. You got to have the respect that this is your parent, but you also got to have the confidence that I deserve this point of view, so I can at least have some type of psychological rest as to what I thought you were trying to do to me.
Like,
I mean, I'll put it. I have had those conversations in the past. I have, but like it's one of those things. We've had the conversation and then we're done with it. I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not really holding. I mean, there's some fucked up shit that happened, like financially, with my parents and me. Like, and I did it to other siblings, like my poor brother, who wanted to buy a car one time, and he had no credit. To his knowledge, he had no credit, 0 credit, like nothing, good or bad, just 0. Goes to buy a car, they declined him because he owed $3,000 to a power company in Central New York.
Oh yeah, that's the story of the hood. Your motherfucking parents put a bill in your name, and you can't get shit. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're coming from this perspective of what was normal to me. This is just shit. So it was just like this outstanding, like, oh my god, this childhood. It's your perspective on it. Because the things you can't get resolution for, you just gotta let that shit go, man.
I mean, yeah,
you
but-
gotta see the things that affect you negatively in your life now, and just say, I don't have a resolution for this, so I'm just gonna let it die.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I've had those conversations with my parents when my dad was alive. But like, you know, I mean, but
it's just like, but it's like this. I seen the way that interaction between you and Bear happened, and you blew up. So I'm assuming you. This is how it is when you're in situations where your emotions are. You blow up. You can't go to them like this. You got to go to them, and like I say, you got to have it's a respect. And it's also a courage, and it's also a determination to get this information out of them. And it's a particular way you got. Because I did it with my parents. I did it with my grandfather. I did it with my mom. Like I say, I told them, I'll take the family over now. You raised me correctly. I've done what you wanted me to do. Now it's time for me. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'll create a child that'll be sufficient enough to take over the family. What?
I'm going to piggyback on this just a slight bit. Because like me and my mom specifically do not see eye to eye, and I had a lot of the same experiences that you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't forgive her for anything she's done.
Yeah,
I address it little by little, but in reality, all I care about is like I am now intelligent enough and worldly enough that I can actually sit next to her and have a conversation where she'll actually listen to my perspective. When she gets hot about some shit, I can be like, okay, so what about this? And I take that as a W.
Yeah, no,
Like,
absolutely.
as much as I want to be like, why did you do this to me? Why were you like this? Why didn't you ever notice when I told you you were fucking shit-faced and being a fucking problem? Not even getting into that. It's too late.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I mean, I still talk to my mom like at least once a week for like an hour at a time. Go ahead.
What'd you say, man?
I wasn't sure if you were stretching your arm or raising your
No,
hand. I'm
I've
sorry.
legitimately wanted to say something for like 15 minutes, and it's actually changed like twice.
Okay.
The current
Sorry.
thing I would like to express, Hamill,
Yes.
I'm sorry that your childhood was shitty. That sucks.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah.
So, like, dwelling on it, like having it in your canon of like, this is this, it doesn't help you as a person advance in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I love you, and I hope that you can let it go soon.
Yes. Was the second thing or no? Is that
No,
No, you
that's
said
all I
it
wanted
just
to
changed
say.
twice. What I was going to say,
Oh, I thought you said two
what I was
things.
going to tag onto that is that there is a certain piece with actually understanding it and not holding it up with hate. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do, but there's like a really interesting thing that you like that I've learned is just like, yeah, it happened. Nothing I can fucking do about it now.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's the reason why I'm talking about it is because the fact that like it molded me into a certain kind of person, right? It's the reason why I'm a people pleaser. It's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. It's because I you know what I'm saying, that and that's a hard thing to fucking try and fix. Like I'm almost fucking 40, and I'm just now coming to the realization that like there's a lot of work I got to do on the.
Hamill, what is amazing is most people don't come to this realization.
Oh,
Ever.
die.
Literally ever.
Yeah.
Seriously?
50 lifetimes.
And you're 40, man.
There are
Seriously?
people that
Give yourself, Jake.
die holding this not
I'm just
understanding
Jacob.
this.
Let
Yeah.
me say this, and you
Yeah.
ain't got to believe me.
Okay.
This ain't the end. When you die, this ain't it. Everything you do matters.
Okay.
Everything you do towards improvement matters. You have an energy that energizes your nervous system. That's who you are.
Yeah.
Your body will waste away. We're all just bodies. Okay?
Yeah.
But that energy, you're conditioning that energy to be better next time. So people get caught up in this idea that you have to be perfect in the span of 90, 100 years.
Yeah.
Trust me, you got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But you just get a little sleep in between, okay?
Yeah.
It's like this is what you got to understand about your brain. Eventually, you see too much. I don't give a fuck how good you live. I don't give a fuck how good you are to people. Eventually, your brain is just, I can't take it no more. And so death is like, let's dump this bitch. It's like a computer. Let's dump this brain. Let's dump this body. This body wore out. I'm going to get you a new body, a new brain. But I'm going to put that same energy from back before. So when you come back, you come up with the same problems, them same issues. So if you're not confident, you're going to be born not confident. You're going to have to deal with that. Get rid of that shit now. Do the things you need to do. Forgive the people you need to forgive.
Yeah.
Work on the things you need to work on.
I'm doing that.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a
I
slow
am.
process. That's why I don't get
Oh,
on you.
yeah.
It may take you all this lifetime.
No,
But
trust-
as long
yeah.
as you get a little bit better, but it's like I say, me and Carrie was talking about that. We can hear it in your voice. You're talking from your chest now. So you're getting confident. You're getting secure in what you believe and who you are. So as you open up more, you'll feel that energy, that strength.
Yeah.
And it's confidence. You can hear it. It emanates from your voice.
Do you talk about Hamill before or after you have good sex after coming and venting yourself on this show?
I talk about Hamill when Carrie's crying because it consoles. No, Carrie's like me. Carrie's very observational, and we was when we came out to see you, and she's like, "Oh, she's like Jake is getting confident." She's like, "You can hear it in his voice when you stand on stage. You're not bringing your energy in. You're pushing it out."
Yeah.
Because usually you're in here, you know, but now you're on stage, you open up, you can recognize those things. It creates a whole aura that you're giving off. That's why I tell you everything is important. All that little shit you do when people ain't watching, that's the most important shit.
Yeah.
That I'm saying that's when you do the best work. When you're in front of people, that's bullshit. When nobody's watching, that's the work you got to do. That's what fortifies the shit when you out in public.
Yeah.
So
Thought about this too. Quitting jerking off. Is that a good idea?
I believe so.
All right.
Because everything you do, you train your brain to be accustomed to something.
Yeah.
And so a woman won't feel the same because you have to try with a woman is trial and error.
Yeah.
Whereas jerk off is instant gratification. I know how to jerk off. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Whereas you may fail with that woman. So you're like, fuck that bitch. I'm going to jerk off because I know how to get myself off. So you won't try as hard with that woman, whereas you just go to the instant gratification because that's what jerking off is.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Ultimately, humans, you don't want to get used to any instant gratification. That's bad for humans. That's slippery slope territory.
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined to be like, I want to fuck. That's a challenge to you as a man. Go out and try to fuck legitimately.
Yeah.
Take the hits. Take bitches, tell you no. Tell them call you shit. You'll get stronger and stronger every time you do it.
Tell them to call you shit.
Hey, well.
No, that's what they mean. Girls are mean. And if you go out there and you don't have the right amount of confidence and humility, they gonna trash you or they gonna think you scary or some shit. So you gotta know who you are and know how to push that energy out in a certain manner to get their attention. And you know what I'm saying, get the number or whatever you're gonna do with them. But
Yeah.
it's a trial and error thing. I've just done it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing for me to go out there and have a motherfucker tell me no, and I don't give a fuck. I just go, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to you. Go to you. Go to you. Go to you. I don't give a fuck. All y'all turn me down. It's fine. It's another day tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A new flock of women. It ain't no big thing. Don't think it's the end of the world. But yeah, we gotta get out of here. I gotta get to work.